Hey friends, welcome to Gardening with Creekside. Today we are going to do a fun little project. In my mind, it is going to be gorgeous. We're going to pray that it turns out as good in reality as it is in my brain. We are going to be addressing my two urns that are right here on the either side of our front door. These are the Norfolk urns from our friends at Unique Stone. We put these up here, gosh, I want to say late winter, it was this year, and I love them, right? So it is a one-piece urn. It kind of looks like it's two, but it is one beautiful color. This is the dark walnut. So what we're going to do is have a little fun with these urns because it is mid-August, right? And sometimes my plants need a little refresh. So we needed a little refresh, cleaned everything out. And then two, I just get kind of bored with some of my urns because like plantings, because we have such a long growing season here in North Carolina, Zone 8A. And I like to switch things up. So like the plants that were in here, I took them out. We had the trees in here, potted them up. I'm gonna put them in the landscape somewhere around the chicken coop this fall. So we repurposed them, but I just cleaned them out because my gosh, they've been in here forever. And so I want to switch things up. What inspired me about this area was a lady that I follow on Instagram, fellow Southerner. And so she was doing a huge, massive vase of her limelight hydrangea blooms. She said, I have tons of them. I need to go ahead and use them. So she did like a live vase arrangement by her front door. So I'm going to take that idea and switch it and tweak it and make it work for us here at the house. So we're going to use those urns. So what we're going to do, let's just mosey on over here. So we're going to do that. I'm going to show you the hydrangeas that we are going to cut and have fun on. Also, so the other day, last week, whenever it was, I lose track of time, you were with us when we pulled out the crepe myrtle in the new terrace garden. That's what we're calling it, the terraced garden. In the terrace garden, we pulled that one out because we talked about how I've never liked it. It sends out suckers and runners. And a lot of y'all were like, it was either funny, I told Jerry, either half of you were like, my crepe myrtle has never done that. What are you talking about? Or the other half of you were like, oh my gosh, yes, I have been dealing with suckers and runners for years and years and years, even after the tree is gone. We're gonna go over here to the Natchez. I'm gonna show you the suckers and runners that are there, and then we're gonna try a product to get rid of it with simple ease. So that's part 2 of the video. But part 1, we're gonna have some fun with some hydrangeas. Now, back here in the Emperor 1 bed, because we have the Emperor 1 Japanese maple in there, I have in the back of the bed, from the beginning of this flower bed, I have 4 or 5 Limelight Prime hydrangeas. And y'all, you know that I am a huge fan of Proven Winners hydrangeas. I think they are the absolute best on the market. However, I think either we got the wrong plant, these are not primes, because everybody we have talked to, their primes do not do this. Do you see what I'm talking about? This is the best one, but as we go through, y'all, they're just absolutely laying down. I mean, they are like this poor guy. Look, I've got 3 sprigs and then everybody else is flat on the ground. And then the next one down, it's completely, like totally laying down. And this was not from Debbie. This has been for almost a month now. So what we're going to do is we're going to clear cut. And I am going to cut all of these flowers off. Yep, I am. I'm cutting all the flowers off, as many as I possibly can gather, because we're going to use it in the front porch urns. Later on, go ahead and prepare your heart. Tell my kids, prepare your heart. Later this fall, these guys are coming out because this is prime real estate and I don't have time for floppy hydrangeas. So these are gonna come out. I may put pufferfish in. I don't know who I'm gonna put in, but these are gonna come out and we're gonna rework this area. So I am going to cut as many flowers as I possibly can, throw them in a bucket with some water, and then we're going to head back to the front porch. Okay, my friends, so what I have is a lovely 5-gallon bucket full of hydrangea blooms. I cut until my bucket was full. So if I need more, I can go back and get more because the hydrangeas have plenty of beautiful flowers on them. Now, if you want to do this, whether it's in an arrangement like I'm doing here on the porch, or if you want to make a vase and put it in your house, this is the perfect time to do that with your panicle hydrangeas. Let me see if I can kind of pull one out here safely for you. So these, of course, are panicle hydrangeas. They love the sun, and for us here in the South, they will never turn a complete red because our nights are too hot and humid. I don't know if that got that very good or not, but anyway, so they're turning a little mauvey, right? So once they start to age, this is a great time to do that. If you want to dry your hydrangeas in a vase, I have some actually on my kitchen table right now. Make a vase, put about 2 inches of water in it, and then leave it alone. Let all of that water evaporate. Let the flowers absorb that water, and then leave them. They will naturally dry in the vase like that, and they will stay gorgeous. They will keep that pink hue to them. So what we're going to do is, it's really just one big giant experiment. Let's just be honest. I have two. These are grapevine wreaths. Got them at our local like Hobby Lobby. And so these are kind of going to be like the frame for the hydrangeas. And I'm simply going to put them like right there on top of the urn. This is, I'm going to build the arrangement here, and then that way it'll just be a little something decorative right there. By no means do you have to have this, but I have them and this is what I use them for. So I'm just going to go for it and put them in there, resting on top of the urn. They're not actually on the soil. I did put some water in here. So this is just the soil that's left over, it's been in here for all season. I went ahead and watered it. I put like a gallon of water in each urn. That way the soil is damp. We're gonna arrange the Limelight Prime flowers in here, just like you would if it were a vase. And then they will be able to absorb some of the water that is in the soil. And then once the soil dries out, then they're gonna naturally dry just like that happens in the vase in the house. So we're just gonna build it like, like you would typically any kind of vase. Now I did cut them as long as I possibly could just because I didn't know how tall I wanted to make it. Now obviously here in the center, because this is full of soil, I mean, I can really get them in there, right? So what I'm gonna do is just have some fun and just build an arrangement using these hydrangeas in the urns. Fingers crossed it turns out half as good in reality as it does in my brain. So, just gonna have some fun. My friends, I could not be happier with how these urns turned out. Like, it is just as pretty or prettier in reality as it was in my brain. Oh my heavens. Love, love, love this. I will be doing this every late summer forever and ever. Amen. Y'all, it just looks so cool. Look at that. And it was so stinking easy. Really easy. I did have to go back and get a couple of more for this urn because I just wanted to fill it in a little bit more. I'm really glad that I put the grapevine wreaths in because I think that just kind of gives it that little bit of that extra touch. But y'all, look how gorgeous, how full. You cannot get any easier. Oh my gosh, y'all. And the two of them together, it literally looks like either you have this insanely crazy full hydrangea plant, you know, planted in the urns, or that you did this gorgeous arrangement. Either way, I don't care. I love it. It is stunning. So you've got, right, you've got a little bit of lime green, you've got the cream, you've got some pink in there. There was a couple on the second go round that were a little blonder than the other ones. I don't care. Does that bother me? Nope. It looks beautiful. And going all the way around, because this is where I came through and I was like, oh, this was a little shy right here. So we went ahead and filled it in because heaven knows I have got plenty of hydrangea blooms to cut and to share. I will probably be doing this in a lot more containers. So the plan is that the soil is nice and well watered. So they are soaking up water right now because they were fresh cut. I didn't have to cut all of them. Some of them I had to cut, you know, to get them to fit in there. But just jamming them down in there, they are nice and tight, like they are not going anywhere. Even if we get wind, these are not going to fall out. So if you're going to do this, really recommend cutting those stems as long as you possibly can. That way you have more stem in the soil and it holds it. But I will not water these again. I will let them naturally age, let them dry out, and they will be fine. They should, the plan is that they will go as long as I want them to. Like if I wanted to leave them here all winter, I could, because the blooms are at the stage where they're naturally ready to start drying. Mine in the kitchen, nice and like kind of crispy. The petals will curl just ever so slightly, but that's not that big of a deal. But y'all, seriously, this in my opinion was like a massive win. I don't know if you like it as much as I do. Honestly, I don't care because it's my house and I love it. But yeah, oh my gosh, y'all, so stinking easy. Do this. If you've got a bunch of hydrangea blooms and you want to make them last longer, do this. So easy. You could put them in pots. Like you could put them in any kind of pot and move it wherever you want it to be. If you're having like a party, if you're having a whatever, I don't care. Just because. Just create a pot, throw some soil in there, or use like what I did, a pot that already had old soil in there, jam them in there and enjoy. Have fun. All right. Now we got one more part of the video that we need to do. So if you remember, so let me flip around here. I'm getting ahead of myself. All right. I'm going to turn the camera literally off of our front porch, right in our front yard. We have these 3 massive, gorgeous Natchez crepe myrtles. Love them. They're white. This is where that pink one that we took out came from, because when we bought these 3, we wanted 3 of the same, 3 white Natchezes here. When we bought them, they were not blooming. And then the one in the middle began blooming and it was pink. So that's the one that got moved, and then the nursery replaced it and gave us the white one because it was, you know, the wrong color. Now, they have been here probably 15, 16, 17 years, right? So they're nice and big. We've been in this bed many times before. We have the daylilies right here. I have my bird feeders. You can see all the birds just left. And so under here, we have a little bit of, I've got some hydrangeas, macrophylla hydrangeas in here, and then I've got summerific hibiscus. Now the summerifics are not doing well now because there is so much shade from the crepe myrtles, so they really have not flowered at all. Now my hydrangeas, on the other hand, this year has been the year that they have finally taken off, and they are doing great. These are the golden pennymacs, so they're doing really well. Now, the thing that I have found with the crepe myrtles is, like so many of you said on the videos, one, you were like, I don't get any runners whatsoever, and then the other ones were like, oh my gosh, they're driving me insane, they're everywhere. I think what the deal is, if you have your crepe myrtles and you don't plant anything around them, then you're not going to get runners. However, as soon as you disturb the soil and like start digging and you're breaking up a root or whatever, that's where the runners come up. Just to prove my point, here we go. Underneath the bird feeder right here, we have a massive section. Look at all these runners right here. And this is the crepe myrtle, right? In fact, it's getting ready to bloom. It's got buds on it. This is where, and then they go on down the line. This is where we broke up, dug trenches to, and it follows the exact line, y'all, to the well. When we were putting in the irrigation for the berm, we came through, remember we had that video, and we trenched a line right here that went the entire length all the way through, and then it cut off through the grass so that it could go to the privacy berm up there. That is where all these little suckers, all these little runners are popping up. Also, when I planted my golden pennymacs, looky here, I have got these daggum crepe myrtles popping up right through the middle of my hydrangea. All of this crepe myrtle, right? It is literally like right, I've got one that is coming up right in the middle of the hydrangea. So this is why I don't like crepe myrtles. Yes, they're beautiful when they bloom for that however many weeks it is, but the rest of the time, because I like to garden and I like to plant things in the vicinity of the crepe myrtles, this is what happens, and it is a pain. I have done before, I have cut and sprayed like straight Roundup on it, and yes, it kills those, but sometimes like they'll come back. So what we're going to do today is I have a stump and brush killer. So that I'm going to show you, we're going to walk through this together, we're going to do it together, and we're going to cut, and we're going to paint, and we're going to kill these little crepe myrtles. All right, my friends, so here I am sitting on the ground below the crepe myrtle, and I have a sucker right here beside of me. What we're going to use to get rid of this baby is the Fertilome Brush Killer Stump Killer. So what this is going to do is a highly concentrated herbicide, and what we're going to do is cut this to the ground, and then they recommend a paintbrush. I don't have any paintbrushes, they have all disappeared, so I'm probably just going to order like a bulk bag of like cheap paintbrushes, because you're going to basically use it one at a time and then you're going to toss them. I don't have a paintbrush, but I do have a little baggie of cotton balls. So that is what I'm going to do, is just dab and then go ahead and cut that. I do have it in a plastic bag, and this is what they recommend also with your paintbrush, is once you're done to wrap it up in a plastic bag or several layers of like newspaper and then throw it away, because it is an herbicide, and so if it comes into contact with another plant at some point down the road, you know, it could cause harm to that plant. So yeah, what I'm going to do is just set the camera up so that it's nice and zoomed in so you can see exactly what I am doing. If you're interested in this though, we do have it on the website. It is available. It is 16 ounces, and because it is so concentrated, like this should last you a good long while. So that way you can take care of those pesky trees and suckers and things that come up that you don't want to be, you know, growing up in the middle of your plant. So let's get these crepe myrtles getting taken care of. All right, my friends, so it was as easy as that, right? Just to cut and then paint. Now, I'm not gonna do any more today. I don't know that I really like the cotton ball method, because I wasn't sure how much of the solution I had on the cotton ball. I didn't open up the whole, the whole top of it. I just took my knife and just cut a little hole and kind of squeezed it. So I know the cotton ball was wet, but still I like to know that the cotton ball is wet. Does that make sense? So I think once I get my paint brushes and then I can actually dip it and I know that they're wet, and then I know that I can liberally paint them. So I just did the one and I left the mulch pulled away from it. That way we can kind of keep an eye on it the next week or so, because heaven knows that crepe myrtles are actively growing right now. So we'll know if it sprouts again. But that is available if you want to get it. And also remember the other week when I had my baptisias that were covered in the caterpillars, and I told you that an organic solution to kill the baptisias, not the baptisias, we don't want to kill the baptisias, we want to kill the caterpillars. That the organic solution to killing the caterpillars was using a BT spray. So when we ordered the Fertilome, the tree, and the stump killer, we also got a BT spray. So BT is, I have it right here. Don't judge my my bird bath. I need to wash it out. That's another thing about the crepe myrtles, is if you have it near a pool, then you get all this in your pool or your bird bath. And I clean this out quite frequently. Just ignore this mess. We're going to focus right here on the caterpillar killer with BT. So this is a biological insecticide. It controls the worms and the caterpillars on fruits, vegetables, ornamentals, shade trees, in and around the home garden. It is for organic gardening. And this is a ready to use. So literally you can just take this container and spray the caterpillars. So you have to, with the BT, you have to come into contact with the caterpillars. So the BT spray has to come into contact with the caterpillar. It is not a systemic. So you'll have to follow the directions and then reapply as needed. So this would work on your budworms for your petunias or your calibrachoas, any kind of caterpillar that is chewing on your summerific hibiscus that you want to get rid of. This is an organic solution to take care of that. So this is the ready to use formula. So this is a 32-ounce container. Have that available for you also. If you would like to have the concentrate so that you can make up your own spray, let me know, because that's something that we could easily add to the website. So if you like the ready to use, let me know. And or if you want the concentrate that you can make up in a bigger sprayer, like a 1 gallon or a 2 gallon sprayer, let me know that as well, because we can grab that and put that on the website as well. But overall, I am so stinking excited with those urns, the hydrangeas. I just think that was just so much fun, so easy, a great way to use hydrangea blooms before they turn completely brown in the season. So y'all go have fun with your hydrangeas and enjoy that. As always, we appreciate you. You have an amazing day. We'll see you in the next video. Bye, friends.